the art of the playground, was the record cover. So it seemed that the way into making a record cover was to go and do graphic design. So we went to do graphic design. Most of the young people who go into graphic design or communications design have no idea what it really is. And actually, they're not interested in that. I mean, I see graphic design now as entry-level visual art. It's entry-level art. Most of the people are attracted by the graphic arts just like the look of it. They don't really want to do brand strategy for Orange. It's entry-level visual culture for them. Mm-hmm. So I entered, visual culture at that level. Now, most graduates meet the real world then sometime after leaving college, and they get a job in design. And it's a big shock to them. The ones who do communications design, they realize it's not about them. It's not about self-expression. It's work. It's work for hire. It is actually finding ways to cleverly articulate somebody else's message. And very often a message that you have no feeling for. So, I was very lucky, and by chance, because of what happened in 1976 in music in Britain, Malcolm and I graduated into the moment immediately after punk. Okay, so we can understand punk as a coup d'etat in the cultural universe of pop. Okay, punk was in a way the first rebellion within the Republic of Pop. The rock and roll and pop was itself a rebellion in the 1950s. It was a stand against the status quo. It was the beginning of youth culture as we know it. And in a way, punk in 1976, punk was the first rebellion within the new politics of youth. And for a moment, for about 1 year after punk, there was a moment of opportunity for new people with new ideas to enter. The door opened.
Why so?
And we slipped through.
Why just 1 year?
Because for 1 year, the establishment, we would call them the incumbent establishment of pop, the record companies, the huge selling artists, the industry was completely taken by surprise by punk. They didn't understand that they had lost touch. Well, they had lost. I mean, rock and roll or pop music had lost the ear of the young people that it was supposed to be for. By the time you get to Rick Wakeman and the Pink Floyd, actually, 15-year-old kids really don't care.
And also the visuals.
Yeah. Okay. So yes. So there was a moment when other people came, and it's like a coup d'etat. If you lose the people, then there is a possibility of a change at the top. And for 12 months, the establishment were like, what's going on? And in this moment, new bands, new producers, new writers, new photographers, new designers, new artists came through. And then gradually they make a new establishment and the door closes again. So Malcolm and I graduated in 1978 into opportunity. Opportunity that was really unique for us. We were no more genius than anyone else, but we were in the right place at the right time. So we walked through, and Malcolm worked with the Buzzcocks and went straight into the industry. And, pretty soon it got difficult for him. And he had to adapt to suit that industry. Because I got involved in Factory, which was independent, stayed independent, had nothing to do with the music industry, a kind of autonomous, free speech place existed for me. And it existed for a decade. Completely outside of the discipline of communications design. Completely away. It was like free speech to children.
Working as an artist.
Working like an artist.
Like an artist today.
Like an artist.
Well, it's supposed to be an artist today.
It's just I worked like an artist.
Uh-huh.
It was my practice was artistic because nobody told me what they wanted. Nobody told me. No one knew what they were doing. The groups didn't know what they were doing. The managers didn't know what they were doing. Factory Records didn't know what it was doing. Nobody thought they knew better. Okay, so we all did. Factory was an opportunity for everybody to do what they felt like doing. So Tony Wilson, as the principal of Factory, felt like having like a kind of pop commune. So he had one, and I was able to make record covers that I wanted. Just in that situation at Factory, when I worked with other groups, somebody in the group knew what he wanted. You do a Roxy Music cover, it's for Brian Ferry. You know, you do a Pulp cover, it's for Jarvis. You do a Peter Gabriel cover, it's for Peter. But the situation I had with Joy Division and New Order, they were like, they didn't.
Just that you work. And
It just happened. Eventually, with New Order, it just happened. There was no leader. There was no agreement between them themselves. So meetings were pointless. Nobody was in charge. Always in a pop group, there's a hierarchy. There's always somebody, and you kind of know who it is. Okay, there's always somebody who is the control, even in a pop group. And if you're an art director, that's the client. Okay, that's the client. With New Order, nobody was in charge. Until 1992, nobody took charge of New Order. In the end, Bernard Sumner took charge of New Order. So, and then they disagreed on principle. They would disagree about everything because it amused them. So there was no point to have a meeting. So they would do the music and I did a cover and the two would come together.
And they just look at the things when they're finished? Almost.
They didn't like them. Usually they didn't like them.
Oh, really? That's frustrating.
No, they don't like them. They don't like a lot of the covers. It's like, you know, Bernard likes it, Hooky hates it, Stephen doesn't mind. So this is basically, okay. So it was a kind of artistic practice where I was able to make the record covers or see the visual material that I wanted to see in the everyday. And the great thing was that because of their music and through the association with the music, the audience accepted it. So if you take my record covers, you put them on postcards, and you put them through people's letterboxes, 1% maybe like it. But when it arrives around the Joy Division record, it arrives around a New Order record, people like it. So through association, the ideas were accepted. And there was a big audience. This is the difference between, in a way, the mass-produced object and fine art, is that instead of speaking to like 100 people, I was speaking to 100,000 people. At a very formative age, you know, at an age when, you know, it kind of shapes their ideas of the world, 17, 18, 19 years of age, this is, you know, it's formative. And in association with this music that they loved. So this was a pretty...
quite influential.
Yeah, very influential. I mean, in real time, you don't think about it. So, you know, here, you know, I'm now, you know, 50, looking back 20 years, 25 years at what I did, and I can see what I did. But if we go back to 1980, I couldn't. You just do it. And so I was able to do what I felt like doing through the medium of communications.